My dear, even if God Himself listens, I'd still confess you ruined me beautifully. I'd scream your name in front of everyone just to see if you flinch. They can listen. I don't care. I loved you in ways that destroyed me. Let them overhear. My love for you was holy, even when you weren't. I never loved safely. I loved you recklessly, like fire meeting gasoline. I'm not whispering anymore. You were my everything, even when you made me feel like nothing. I'd ruin my silence just to say, you were worth the pain. If they hear it, let them. We were never quiet anyway. You broke me in public. I'll grieve you in public too. I loved you louder than anyone else ever dared. My truth is naked, I would still choose you. I don't care who hears me fall apart, at least it's real. You were my prayer and my punishment. They can judge me, you already sentenced me. I'll never lie about loving you, even if it cost me everything. I still want you, that's the worst part. You walked out, I stayed in love. Call it obsession, I call it unfinished love. You're not mine, but my heart never signed the release. Even if they laugh, I still miss you. I screamed your name into silence, and it screamed back. The world can hear, I'd still take you back. You loved me loud, you left me louder. I'd confess in front of every soul, you were my softest war. The pain was personal, but the love was public. I never feared the noise, only your silence. I'd ruin my reputation just to keep your ghost. I still ache where you used to speak. You left me bleeding in the middle of applause. Say I'm dramatic. I loved you dramatically. I never hid my love. Why did you hide yours? Even now, I'd trade peace for one more moment with you. They can record this. I was yours, entirely. My heartbreak wasn't quiet. Why should my truth be? I died for you while you lived freely. Your name still burns under my breath. You taught me loud love and silent loss. I screamed for you in a room full of whispers. Love me or leave me, but don't pretend it was nothing. If they ask, tell them I'd do it all again. My confession isn't for sympathy, it's for closure. I kissed you like a vow. You left me like a rumor. You didn't just leave, you echoed. Say I'm stupid. I still loved you out loud. My feelings never asked for permission to exist. You were my favorite sin to speak aloud. I'd rather be humiliated than pretend I never loved you. This is not weakness, it's honesty. They'll hear my truth before they bury it. My silence ended the moment you left. You're gone, but my voice still remembers. I built a shrine from our ashes. Let them hear. I loved you in full volume. Your name is still my most dangerous word. You made me a secret. I made you a sermon. I kissed you with every part of me that didn't survive. I won't whisper about love that burned this loud. I'll carry your ghost through every sentence. I loved you like a lunatic, proudly. You shattered me and left the world to watch. I don't want pity, I want your presence. You were never mine, but you ruined me like you were. They can hear me crumble. I don't care anymore. I'd bleed truth if it meant reaching you. I wasn't dramatic. I was destroyed. You were the only silence I ever feared. Even now, your memory screams louder than crowds. I said forever. You said nothing. They'll remember me as the fool who loved you honestly. I broke alone, but loved together. This isn't heartbreak. This is holy grief. I never hid you, not even from my pain. Your silence is public now. So is my sorrow. I don't care who's watching. I miss you shamelessly. If honesty hurts, let it hurt. I never stopped calling you mine, even when you vanished. Let the world listen. This is my last truth about you. I screamed for closure, but whispered your name instead. I was never quiet about my love. Why should I be quiet about my loss? If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. I still feel you in the words I can't say aloud. You left me hollow but loud. The echoes of you still dare me to speak. They saw me smiling. They didn't see your ghost behind it. I wasn't quiet when I loved you. Why should I be now? My love was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to shake heaven. I stayed loyal to your absence. This love still screams under my ribs. You made a poet from my pain. I burned every bridge and still called it love. You weren't a chapter, you were the ink. My lungs remember the silence you taught me. I kept you loud in a world that asked me to forget. If grief could sing, it would sound like your name. I buried you in poetry, but you still rise. Even if it breaks me, I'll never deny you. I'd rather sob in public than lie in silence. You were my loudest heartbreak. I don't whisper about wildfires. They're listening now, but I only needed you to hear. I regret nothing except the silence I gave you after you left. If I screamed your name now, would your soul flinch? I didn't lose you. I lost the version of me that trusted you. Even if it shames me, I loved you more than myself. You were never mine, but you cost me everything. I still taste you in my quietest moments. Your love was poison I drank proudly. Everyone warned me, but your touch silenced all alarms. I'd love you again, even if it kills me louder this time. I knew you'd leave. I just didn't know you'd echo. You made me brave in love, but a coward in healing. If they ask me again, I'll still say your name. You weren't a mistake. You were a masterpiece of damage. I hated how you left, but I'd relive it to hold you again. My heart still hides in the songs you used to hum. I let you in knowing you'd wreck the place. You never stayed, but you left footprints. I don't want revenge. I want to unlove you completely. You were too much and not enough at the same time. I forgot how to breathe where you used to stand. You taught me silence louder than any scream. You weren't my closure, you were my cliffhanger. I romanticized your damage and called it fate. I didn't fall in love. I crashed into you. You left without warning, but your ghost knocks nightly. I wasn't looking for forever, just honesty. I don't miss you. I miss who I thought you were. They think I moved on, but I just moved in silence. You kissed my scars, then made new ones. I stopped pretending. You never loved me loudly. I gave you my secrets. You sold my silence. I only begged once. That was enough to haunt me. I don't cry for yous anymore. I grieve the lie I loved. You weren't the one. You were the lesson. I knew better, but I still chose you. You held me like a weapon you didn't want to use. I loved you blindly and saw too late. You healed me just enough to hurt me worse. I told the stars about you. They burned out. You weren't hard to love, just hard to keep. I swallowed my truth to keep your lies warm. You made me feel special just enough to keep me broken. I screamed in silence every time you smiled at her. I gave you loyalty. You gave me lessons. I kept your secrets and lost my soul. I wish I never heard your name. Now it's all I hear. You built hope and left like a storm. You haunted my peace with your presence. I unlearned joy to love you properly. I don't talk about you. I bleed you in poems. I held on so tight, I forgot how to feel free. They think I'm over you because I stopped speaking. You left, but your echo still owns my silence. I became quiet because my love was never heard. I still write letters I'll never send. I hope someone tells you how loudly I suffered. I was your peace. You craved chaos. You saw my love as a mirror, not a home. You asked for space. I vanished. I wore your name like a wound. You left, but your memory screams louder than ever. I still dress my thoughts in your absence. You wanted to be chased. I wanted to be held. I begged the universe to make you stay. You taught me detachment the hard way. I kept loving you in rooms you never entered. Your silence buried everything I once believed. I wasn't weak, I was real. You didn't just leave, you erased. I fell in love with your potential, not your truth. I screamed your name into people who didn't know it mattered. You loved me like a warning. I stayed loyal to an illusion. I let you write chapters in a book you never finished. I miss you in ways that embarrass my pride. I still feel your fingerprints on my trust. You loved me when it was convenient. I mourned you before you even left. You were the softest goodbye that screamed the loudest. I wasn't asking for forever, just for you to stay.